Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about seeing it clearly, feeling it fully, and learning from it in a way that frees the heart. By the time this video ends, you will understand how to honor the memories that once caused pain without letting them hold you captive, how to carry your experiences as wisdom rather than as scars, and how to begin reclaiming your sense of self in the quiet strength that comes from understanding rather than forgetting. Staying with these words means giving yourself permission to feel deeply, reflect gently, and begin a journey toward emotional clarity and peace. Pain leaves its mark, and the most lasting marks are often the ones we try to ignore. We tend to believe that forgetting will make life easier, that erasing moments, faces, or conversations will somehow heal the wounds faster. But the heart remembers everything it needs to, whether or not the mind wants it to. Healing is not forgetting, it is integrating. It is learning to hold your memories with tenderness, seeing them as teachers instead of tormentors, and discovering that even the moments that hurt the most can lead you toward greater self-awareness and resilience. Every memory that still stings carries a lesson, whether it's obvious or hidden beneath layers of confusion. Perhaps you have replayed conversations over and over, questioned your decisions, or wondered if you could have done something differently. Perhaps you have tried to erase faces from your mind, stories from your heart, and yet the pain lingers. That persistence is not failure. It is your soul asking to be understood, asking you to look deeper, to allow the experiences to show their meaning rather than simply trying to escape them. Understanding comes before peace. The human mind is wired for closure, for neat endings, for explanations. And yet, the world rarely gives those gifts in the ways we hope. People leave, circumstances change, and heartbreak happens without warning. But there is freedom in recognizing that healing does not require someone else's apology, recognition, or explanation. Your healing belongs to you, and understanding your experience is how you reclaim it. By the end of this video, you will begin to see your memories differently. You will start to recognize that every tear, every sleepless night, and every ache in your chest served a purpose. You will begin to understand the ways you grew stronger, wiser, and more compassionate through what you endured. And you will feel the subtle release that comes when the heart stops resisting the past and starts listening to the lessons it contains. Memories are not enemies. The moments that hurt are not proof of weakness. They are evidence of courage, of love given honestly, of vulnerability shared fully, and of resilience that has carried you through nights you once thought you would never survive. Forgetting would be denying all of that, denying that you lived, that you felt, and that you allowed yourself to care deeply. Understanding allows you to honor the truth of what happened while reclaiming your sense of self, your boundaries, and your power. Acceptance is the first step. Accepting that what happened to you mattered, that your pain was real, and that your growth is intertwined with the experiences that shaped you. It can feel uncomfortable at first, because the human instinct is to push away what hurts, to erase what threatens to reopen wounds. But healing requires courage. It asks you to witness your own story without flinching, to see the lessons even in the moments that brought tears, and to slowly integrate the experience into the person you are becoming. You may have tried to forget before, to distract yourself, to push away memories that made you ache. You may have thought that if you could erase the past, you could finally feel free. But freedom is never found in forgetting. Freedom comes when you face the truth, when you allow yourself to remember without judgment, when you hold your experiences as teachers instead of torturers. That is where healing begins, in the space between acknowledgement and understanding. If these words feel like they are touching something deep within you, stay here. Let this space be a reminder that you do not need to hurry through your healing, that you do not need external validation, and that your heart has the capacity to grow stronger with every reflection. Subscribe if it resonates, not as a formality, but as a quiet promise to yourself that you will return here whenever you need a gentle reminder that understanding is possible and peace is within reach. Understanding does not require excusing anyone's actions. It does not ask you to pretend the pain never existed or that the loss was insignificant. It simply invites you to see clearly, to recognize your resilience, and to allow the heart to carry the lessons learned. Each moment of sorrow, each heartbreak, and each disappointment holds insights into who you are, what you value, and what you will no longer compromise. Your pain can become wisdom when you choose to see it as such. When you stop arguing with the past and start learning from it, the memories that once haunted you begin to shift in meaning. You see patterns in your choices, in the behaviors of others, in the ways you allowed yourself to be hurt, and in the ways you responded with grace and courage. This recognition does not make the memories any less real. It simply transforms their influence from weight into guidance. Over time, you may notice subtle changes. Moments that once brought tears may now bring reflection. Situations that once felt devastating may now appear as lessons in resilience. People who once seemed essential may now appear as teachers in disguise, guiding you toward the awareness and self-compassion you needed. Every memory, every experience, every ache has contributed to a deeper understanding of yourself, your heart, and your boundaries. Healing is a quiet, ongoing practice. It requires patience and gentleness with yourself. Some days you will feel strong, others fragile. Some memories will resurface with intensity, others will fade softly. All of it is part of the journey. Healing is not linear. It is a spiral, circling back over lessons learned, deepening your understanding, and gradually expanding the capacity of your heart. When you embrace understanding instead of forgetting, you begin to reclaim your story. You see yourself not as someone broken by loss or disappointment, but as someone who has endured and learned. You no longer measure your worth by what others did or did not give you, but by the courage with which you loved, the integrity with which you lived, and the resilience with which you rose after every fall. Stay here a while if these words resonate. Allow yourself to breathe into the understanding that healing is a personal journey, that your story matters, and that your heart has always been capable of growing through pain. Subscribe not because you are required to, but because it can be a gentle anchor, a reminder that every step you take toward understanding is a step toward peace, and that you are not walking this path alone. Healing does not erase the past. It does not demand that you forget, that you excuse, or that you diminish the love, hope, and care you gave. Instead, it allows you to hold it all with grace. You can honor the memories, acknowledge the pain, and carry forward with wisdom that only comes from truly understanding. You can live fully, love freely, and exist in a world where the past no longer dictates the depth of your joy or the courage of your heart. True strength is built in the moments when you face your own pain with curiosity rather than resistance. It is in sitting with memories that once made your chest ache, allowing yourself to feel the sting without flinching, that you begin to see them differently. When understanding replaces the desire to forget, the heart opens in ways it could not before. Every experience, no matter how painful, becomes a teacher, guiding you toward compassion, self-awareness, and clarity. By staying with this message, you will discover that the very events you once wished to erase are now capable of showing you the depth of your resilience and the power of your love. It is easy to confuse forgetting with healing. You may have tried to suppress memories, push away thoughts of people who hurt you, or avoid the spaces that remind you of what once was. You may have believed that if you simply stopped thinking about them, stopped replaying the moments that caused sorrow, peace would arrive. But suppression only buries the pain temporarily. Healing requires presence. It asks that you hold the memories in your mind and heart long enough to understand what they taught you, long enough to see that they do not define your future. When the mind begins to quiet and the heart softens, you can notice patterns that were invisible before. Perhaps you see how much courage it took to love someone fully, even when the outcome was uncertain. Perhaps you recognize moments where your boundaries were tested, where your kindness was mistaken for weakness, or where your intuition guided you in ways you did not yet trust. Understanding your pain is about shining a light on these patterns without judgment, seeing them as markers of your growth rather than reminders of failure. There is a profound release that comes from this realization. The ache of memory begins to shift from heaviness to insight. You see that the nights you cried were not wasted, that the moments you feared you'd never recover from actually shaped the strength you carry today. This is the essence of healing, not forgetting the past, but transforming it into something that nurtures your present and guides your future. If these words speak to a quiet part of you that has been longing for relief, stay here. Let yourself feel that this space is safe, that you can explore your memories without judgment, and that understanding is a pathway to peace. Consider subscribing, not as a distraction, but as a gentle reminder that your heart's journey matters, and that nurturing it can be a daily practice of presence, patience, and compassion. Reflection is essential to understanding. Take time to revisit the moments that hurt, the people who disappointed you, and the situations that left you wondering if you could have done something differently. Look at them without blame or shame. Notice your reactions, your emotions, and the truths that emerge about who you are and what you need. Reflection does not reopen wounds. It allows them to breathe, to be seen, and to finally release the grip they once held over you. Forgiveness is part of this process, but it begins within you, not with others. You do not need to excuse hurtful actions or condone the ways people failed you. Instead, forgive yourself for carrying the weight of expectations, for loving fully, and for trusting deeply. Understand that your heart was never broken for nothing. It was tested, stretched, and strengthened. The act of forgiving yourself for the pain you've endured is one of the most profound steps toward understanding, because it reconnects you to your inherent worth and your capacity for love. There is also a subtle shift in perspective that occurs when you allow understanding to grow. Situations that once felt devastating begin to feel like lessons in resilience. People who once seemed central to your happiness are recognized as guides who showed you what matters most to your heart. The love, the heartbreak, the disappointment, and the joy, all of it becomes a tapestry that tells the story of your endurance and growth. And within that tapestry, you discover the threads of wisdom, compassion, and self-trust that were always present, even when pain seemed overwhelming. Allowing yourself to honor your experiences without judgment is transformative. You might notice that the ache in your chest becomes less sharp, the memories less vivid in their intensity, and the emotions more manageable. You start to see that your past is not a cage but a map, a guide to understanding how to care for yourself, how to set boundaries, and how to recognize the kinds of relationships that truly support your growth. Understanding transforms memory into clarity, turning what was once a source of suffering into a tool for your evolution. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to breathe in that reassurance. Allow yourself to know that the process of understanding is not linear or hurried. Healing is not a race, and it does not require perfection. Subscribe if it feels right, not as a duty, but as a gentle reminder that revisiting this space can help you nurture your heart and honor your experiences, slowly but surely, with compassion and patience. The process of understanding your pain also allows for gratitude to emerge in unexpected ways. Gratitude does not erase hurt, but it shifts the lens through which you view your experiences. You may begin to appreciate the strength that came from surviving loss, the empathy that arose from heartbreak, or the courage it took to continue loving after being let down. Gratitude in this context is not forced or superficial. It is born from seeing the depth of your growth and the resilience of your spirit. Healing through understanding allows you to reclaim your story. You no longer need to rely on others' explanations or apologies. You no longer wait for validation or confirmation that your feelings were justified. The story belongs to you. Your understanding is your power. Every memory you once feared will now serve as a teacher rather than a tyrant, guiding you to boundaries, self-respect, and deeper emotional intelligence. You may still experience moments of longing, sadness, or reflection. That is natural. Understanding is not erasure. It is presence. It is allowing yourself to remember, to feel, and to integrate without letting the past dominate your present. These moments are gentle reminders of your growth, proof that your heart has endured, learned, and evolved. As you continue this journey, notice how the very act of acknowledging and reflecting changes your perspective. You begin to see patterns and lessons that were invisible before. You recognize your resilience, your courage, and your capacity for love and compassion, even in the face of disappointment. Understanding turns pain into insight, memories into teachers, and suffering into a catalyst for self-awareness and inner strength. By staying connected here, you allow yourself a safe space to explore these reflections. This is not about reliving the past to remain stuck, but about revisiting it to understand, integrate, and grow. Each time you return to these words, it can serve as a gentle reminder that your healing is your own, that understanding is your gift to yourself, and that you are worthy of compassion, clarity, and peace. Healing does not demand forgetting. It demands presence, patience, and understanding. You can honor what happened, carry the lessons, and still move forward with strength and grace. You can acknowledge the pain, recognize the growth, and allow your heart to expand rather than contract in response to what was lost. This is the essence of true healing, a process of transformation that begins within you and from which peace naturally emerges. Healing is claiming the right to carry your memories without letting them control you. It is understanding that your past shaped you, but it does not define you. It is the realization that every tear you once shed, every heartbreak you endured, and every disappointment you faced has contributed to the depth and strength of the person you are today. By the end of this reflection, you will feel a renewed sense of self, a calm assurance that understanding, rather than forgetting, is the key to true freedom, and that your heart has the capacity to honor its past without being held hostage by it. Understanding begins with self-compassion. It asks you to stop judging yourself for the ways you felt, the ways you loved, and the ways you survived. You may have looked back on choices with regret, wondering if you should have acted differently or trusted less. But every decision you made was rooted in sincerity, courage, and honesty. Healing asks you to recognize that the love you gave, even if it was misunderstood or unreciprocated, was not wasted. It was authentic. It was proof of the depth of your heart. And understanding allows you to honor that authenticity without lingering in self-blame. When you truly grasp that healing is understanding, not forgetting, you begin to notice subtle shifts in the way you experience life. Moments that once carried pain may now carry insight. Faces and places that once reminded you of loss may now remind you of growth. The very experiences that once threatened to define you now guide you, teaching you what boundaries to uphold, what energies to welcome, and what patterns to release. Each memory, once a source of discomfort, becomes a compass pointing toward a more conscious, empowered version of yourself. If this resonates with you, stay here. Let this space be your refuge, a place to reflect, breathe, and integrate your experiences with gentleness. Subscribe if it feels right, not as a ritual, but as an emotional anchor, a subtle promise to yourself that you will continue to nurture your heart and return to the lessons of understanding whenever you need reassurance that healing is unfolding step by step. There is a unique strength in being present with your memories without trying to rewrite them. This does not mean you must revisit painful experiences constantly, but it means that when they arise, you meet them with clarity rather than resistance. You allow yourself to feel what you felt, see what you saw, and recognize what you learned. In doing so, the intensity of the past begins to soften, and your heart becomes a place of wisdom rather than suffering. Understanding your pain also allows for a gentle forgiveness to emerge, both for yourself and, if possible, for others. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions or pretending harm didn't happen. It is about releasing the hold that resentment or misunderstanding may have had over you. It is about choosing peace over bitterness. By forgiving yourself for the ways you were hurt, you reclaim your power. By forgiving in your mind the people who could not meet you with honesty, you create space for clarity and emotional freedom. Over time, this understanding transforms the way you relate to yourself and the world. You begin to recognize patterns in the way you approach relationships, choices, and challenges. You notice when you are being true to your values and when you are compromising for acceptance. You notice your ability to trust yourself and your intuition in ways that may have been clouded by past pain. Understanding gives you perspective, and perspective gives you strength. Healing through understanding allows your memories to become teachers instead of tyrants. You start seeing the ways in which you've grown resilient, compassionate, and wise. You realize that what once seemed unbearable now serves as a foundation for your emotional maturity. The heartbreak that left you hollow now teaches you boundaries. The betrayal that left you doubting now teaches discernment. The loss that once felt crushing now teaches the impermanence of attachment and the value of self-reliance. If these words are resonating deeply, allow yourself to stay with them. Let them remind you that healing does not have to be rushed, that understanding your pain is a lifelong companion, and that your heart is capable of holding the past with clarity without being diminished by it. Consider subscribing as a quiet affirmation of your commitment to this journey, a gentle acknowledgement that you are prioritizing your emotional growth and self-compassion in every step you take. Understanding also allows for gratitude to arise, even for experiences that caused suffering. It may seem paradoxical, but when you see the lessons in pain, the resilience that grew from heartbreak, and the courage that surfaced during moments of vulnerability, gratitude emerges naturally. Gratitude for your own strength. Gratitude for your capacity to endure. Gratitude for the wisdom that now guides you. This is not forced positivity. It is recognition of the beauty in survival, insight, and self-awareness. Through understanding, the past becomes integrated, not erased. You begin to see your story as a whole, not defined by moments of sorrow, but enriched by them. Your journey through pain no longer feels like a burden, but like a series of lessons that have shaped the depth and breadth of who you are. You no longer need to chase forgetting. Instead, you embrace understanding, and in that embrace, you find peace. The final step in this process is living fully with the knowledge that your experiences have prepared you for a more conscious, empowered, and compassionate life. You carry the memories, the lessons, and the growth forward without fear, without resentment, and without the need for external validation. You see that understanding the past allows you to be present for yourself in the most profound ways. When you reflect on your journey, notice how far you've come. You are not the same person who first felt broken or overwhelmed by loss. You have faced your memories with courage, integrated your experiences, and allowed understanding to shape your heart. You are stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the truths that matter. Healing has transformed from a vague hope into a living, breathing reality. Not because you forgot, but because you understood. Stay here, if even for a few minutes longer. Allow this reflection to sink into your bones, to remind you that every step you've taken toward understanding matters, that your heart, your memories, and your growth are sacred, that healing is not about erasing the past, but about honoring it, learning from it, and allowing it to guide you toward your fullest self. Subscribe as a gentle companion to this journey, not as a habit, but as a choice to remind yourself daily that understanding, not forgetting, is the key to peace. Healing through understanding is not linear, and it is not immediate. Some days you will feel the weight of memory more heavily. Some moments will still trigger sorrow, longing, or doubt. But those experiences no longer have the power to define you. They are echoes of your growth, reminders of your strength, and guides toward compassion for yourself and others. Each moment of reflection becomes a brick in the foundation of your emotional resilience, building a life that is conscious, empowered, and whole. When this journey is complete, you will carry your memories with dignity, your lessons with pride, and your heart with openness. You will have learned that healing is not forgetting, it is understanding. And in that understanding, you will find peace, freedom, and a deep connection to the person you were always meant to be.